He is an armchair expert, but he makes mistakes all the time. Thank God Monica's here. She's gonna let him have the facts.
All time, her like my Matt and Ben.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Tumnus.
Who?
What's his name? James McAvoy.
Oh, great pick.
I know, but she picked him while he was Mr. Tumnus.
Who's Mr. Tumnus?
In like Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. So he's like he's like a centaur or something.
Oh, wow.
And we were seeing it in the movie theater, and she was like, "Is he hot?" And I was like, "No."
Wow.
And he's turned out to be quite hot.
Yeah. It's so charismatic.
I guess I've never met him.
What did that just make me think? Oh, I renamed whiskey. And I feel like it's such a good name for him.
What is it?
First of all, conjure him in your head.
Okay.
A little mogwai rat.
And then he eats
right?
people.
Three legs. We decided he's Tiny Trump.
Oh my God.
So his new name is Trimp.
I love
Picture
that.
his face and picture Trimp.
That's exactly.
This is my dog Trimp.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's really accurate in a gross way.
Trimp.
Because it's kind of like shrimp, which he's shrimpy.
Yeah.
But then.
And then what's the rat from Charlotte's Web? Templeton.
Oh.
So his name is Trimp Templeton something. I've forgotten his last name. But now he's got a whole new 3 names.
I like that. He really looks like a Trimp. Who do you think is the perfect name to face and body, like name to person match?
Brad Pitt.
Really?
I guess just those words symbolize now hotness. And
yeah, but I don't know. That's like chicken or the egg.
Sure.
I mean more like.
Oh, that reminds me. As I alerted you, on my bus trip home from Nashville, I was watching all kinds of stuff. Mostly shit I can just listen to. Great rec if you're just driving and you want to listen. Turning Point, that 10.
What's that?
It's on Netflix. It's 10 episodes. But really the history of the nuclear arms race and all the twists and turns. I wrote down stuff in my notes that I want to bring up.
Thank God.
You're going to like it. No, you're going to like one part.
Okay, great.
But anyways, I gave Temptation Island a chance.
Right, I've never done that.
I couldn't do it. I'll blame it on driving and needing to look at probably hot coeds. But
I assume that's the whole point. It's very visual.
And the most alarming thing's happening to me, which is like hot coeds are starting to do less and less for me.
That's great.
I mean, is it? I mean, it's like on a self-actualized spectrum, it's good. That's a bummer to miss.
Sorry, I understand.
Something that has been a source of like titillation and enjoyment my whole life. It's just one less thing I enjoy.
Okay, I have a question. Answer honestly.
Yeah.
Is it that just like overall the titillation in seeing like women on screen or what? Yeah, we'll say
even
on
ripped dudes. You know how I like ripped dudes as well.
Okay, so it's all going downhill, or is it just the age has changed?
Whew. Yeah. How do I know? But everyone's pretty young on the show. What I think is happening is there's some sliding ratio in my head that used to be at 13. Looks was at 20. Like my body was just responding to what you see.
Of course.
And then I just feel like personality always ratcheted up and then looks priority went down. And I think that was at a really nice even keel for a long time, long enough that I could at least look at a hot person with a repugnant personality and think that'd be tolerable for 40 minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can't even enjoy now.
This is great.
I'm turning into a woman.
That's what I was literally just about to say.
I know, I'm finally starting to understand how you guys feel.
What's happening is you're becoming
it doesn't matter if someone's hot.
Your feminine side is coming out. Finally.
I must be in Mizogoff.
Perimenopause.
Yeah. Yeah, but
that's
it's
how it feels.
They introduce themselves, right? It's like, the premise. There's like 10 couples or 8 couples. And
they come in as a couple?
It's the weakest premise imaginable, which is like, we want to make sure we can take our relationship to the next level. So we're going to really tempt each other. It's like, that's not what people looking to take their relationship to the next level do.
Right.
Conventionally.
But
anyway, so you're sitting down. It's this weird mix of jealousy and then bravado of that they don't care.
Yeah.
And then the temptresses and tempters come out, if that's the male of temp.
Oh, they bring in new people.
They break up the couples and the girls live in one house, the boys live in another house, and then they send in temptresses.
Okay.
And so like all these women come out and they're in bathing suits.
course
This whole thing is really fascinating. Because what is the line? Like if you set it up, these are very vague lines.
You mean like sex worker?
Yeah. Like you're hiring hot people to tempt other people and then hopefully they'll hook up with, it's very blurry.
And do
I guess
you
who
think
cares,
the temptresses want to date? It's not, right? The whole
They're claiming they do, but they were cast for being hot. They're not,
I know.
It's not like they were like, I need to find love and I'm looking for someone already in a committed relationship that's claiming they want to go with them. That doesn't exist.
I know.
And they're like, these aren't real names, right? I'm just making them. It's like, I'm Tiara and I put all the back up front, like all these weird sayings and then they show their butt and stuff.
They put all the back up front. That means they have a huge vagina.
Well, no, I'm not mixing metaphors. I'm just saying words. Anyways.
Yeah.
They say these things.
Yep.
This guy's like, I'm a chef and I'm going to cook you hot. Like all these, they got a one-line tag.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, every time they say one of these.
Well, of course. It's so cringy.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. People, like you're already hot.
Yeah.
And then have to say something hot on top of it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all this saying, I know 10 years ago, I would have been able to look right through most of that stuff. Although the one I always loved was with Ryan Devlin. What was that?
Yeah,
Are You the One?
Yeah, we loved that.
Because they really did want to fall in love. And be on TV.
Yeah.
And be on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were like, they thought people were like bawling and stuff.
Yeah, that's like Bachelor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, here's hot models that are going to tempt you. And I just don't know how I feel about it. Anyways, I gave that a shot and then I didn't make it. Why did I bring that up? Just to tell you. Oh, because we were talking about names.
Yeah, names.
And whose name
matches.
Yeah. And why did I think of?
We talked about Brad Pitt being hot.
Yeah, hot. Maybe that's it.
That's how we got there. Yeah, I mean, look, I used
to be able to name like 10 female actors that I was like coveted.
Yeah.
And we're down to a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying really in like
I'm dying.
No, really like I would assume that you don't have any anymore.
Oh.
Like
why would I have any? Like when would there be a day where you go like Brad Pitt's not hot?
No, it's not that. It's just things do change. Like even for me, today an article came out in GQ about my boyfriend, one of my original boyfriends, Ben. Ben,
okay.
And, my friend said, you have to read this article about Ben. And I was like,
it's a must read.
Yeah. And actually she said, I know you're more of a Matt girl, but you have to read this. And then I got like old defensive, right? I was like, it's not one or the other. They're the same. Yeah. But I know at some point in my life, the idea that there was like new info about Ben or that he would have participated in thing. And I would have been so excited. I would have read it immediately. I would have canceled all my plans.
Yes, of course.
And I was like, oh, I got to read that. Like it like felt like a chore.
Similar.
Then, I loved it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's really good.
What makes it so good?
He's very open in it.
Oh, like to what degree?
Well, I also give a lot of credit to the interviewer. He's not going for low-hanging fruit.
Right, like every interviewer.
Exactly.
Today.
And so in doing that, Ben says a lot of stuff.
Right, because he's not on the defensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, he just
what are
like
a couple
owns a lot of things. He talks about, there's nothing like majorly juicy, but he does talk about his relationship with Jen Lopez. And he's basically like, yeah, everyone wants like a juicy headline. He's like, it's just, it'd be so boring if you knew the details. It's just a relationship. It's just like she has things, I have things, and it ultimately doesn't work.
Yeah.
He's very like reflective of this thing about him that like people love to watch him spill coffee on the street. And,
right.
and he said, I could have been more strategic. I should be more strategic. I shouldn't like go out and
In my
get the mail or
sweatsuit,
go out in crappy clothes. I know people are going to do a thing, but I just don't give a fuck.
Okay.
And I liked that.
Yeah.
And he said when he looks back
I'm
on
so
old
grateful
articles,
I'm not him.
I know.
I am so grateful. No.
It's so unfair.
Every now and then I see photos of me from out in front of my house. So I'm like, oh, they sit there. You know,
They sit there.
that's a bummer, but it's not like if I go to the store, there's ever.
And that people are waiting for you to do something very silly.
Yes. And by the way, just make it through an entire walk to Starbucks from
Without
your
doing
car
something.
without looking goofy at one point.
Exactly. And he talks like about his kids because he has this production company with Matt, and like the reason they started that is so he could be at home. He can like be with the kids when they get off the bus, and he missed a lot of chunks. He said he missed a lot of chunks, and he regrets that, and he doesn't like that. And it was great. It was great. I loved it. But also, all to say, like
Your interest had waned a bit.
just my perimenopause is kicking in.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
I
sense
have
because I'm Indian.
Testiatrophy or something. Testicular
I'm Indian
atrophy.
and you're white, so we would be hitting it around the same time.
Because I'm white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm 12 years. You're 12 years early.
Exactly.
Can I tell you the thing that really interested me about Turning Point?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Can
No.
we do one more thing?
Yes, of course.
This is still sort of on subject
Yeah.
of hotness. So I say that, right?
Oh, you were shocked that I have two still.
Oh, yeah. Who are they?
I probably have more. You know, it was reinvigorated. I went and saw Black Bag.
I was just about to bring it up.
You saw it?
Yes.
Oh my God. You know what's great? I went solely because I saw Fassbender was in it. I had like an afternoon off and I went, I didn't know anything about it.
Yep. Me either.
I enjoyed it so much.
Me too.
The score was so good. And I was angry at myself when I saw the title. I was like, oh, Soderbergh directed it. Of course. And that's his signature kind of music and the style. I almost wanted to rewatch it again.
Oh, you didn't know till the end it was him?
Yes.
Oh, that's why I saw it. I was like,
it was almost a
Soderbergh has
blessing because I was trying to figure out the tone of it quite a bit. If I knew it was Soderbergh, I knew it would be a lot more out of sight.
Playful.
Yeah. And I was more like, oh, this is hardcore British espionage shit.
Yes.
But I loved it. But I was reminded how much I love Alicia Vikander.
I didn't even realize it was her.
When he's interviewing her and she's passing the polygraph and they're talking about her anal sphincter.
Realize it was her the whole movie.
Wow.
Until you just said that.
Am I right on that, Rob?
I'm looking. I don't know.
That would be really embarrassing if I have the wrong actor.
She looks like her now in retrospect.
Did you like that actor?
Yeah, she was great. But
Fassbender? Who's your crush?
This is it's crazy that you said it because what I was about to say is, we're saying this lusty thing, but I saw Black Bag and I thought it was so sexy.
Yeah.
And he's so sexy in it.
Which is interesting because he's so reserved.
But it's like...
controlled. His level of control is hot, right?
And he loves her so much.
Yeah, he'll just betray his country for her. Yeah.
And she's so... beautiful in it.
Cate Blanchett.
Yes. And also, like, I'm really upset because her outfits are so cute in it. And then I just want all the outfits.
Okay.
Really bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that was her. Yeah.
I think we could probably.
Well, you're in front of a computer.
She's not listed on the IMDb.
You just go to cast Black Bag.
She's not listed there, but.
It's not her.
The AI.
It's not her.
Marissa. No, wait. Yep, Marissa Abela.
Wait, what? Does that not look like her?
It does look like her.
And they're a couple.
This girl is Marissa Abela. She was great.
Oh my God,
I'm
great. You
so
can add humiliated.
No, but you can add her to your list now.
Although she's 28.
Oh.
That's a little dicey. Wow, man, I'm embarrassed.
This is actually why you're liking young people less, because I do think whether you are conscious of it or not, you know that you wouldn't really want to make that decision.
Oh, I couldn't date any of these people. Is that not abundantly clear?
No. It is clear, but I think when you're like watching Temptation Island and it's like, God, it's just like not doing it for me. I think it's because there's a subconscious streak now going through, like, as you've said before, there has to be some reality to your fantasy.
Well, okay, let's back up for one second and just go like, societally, it's disgusting.
to be with a
when you're
younger
50 years
person.
old and you're dating a 25-year-old.
So
I
I'm
think,
not here to judge.
but I'm just saying societally, it's embarrassing.
It
If
can
you're
be
out at a
embarrassing.
fucking dinner with all your peers and they all have wives as peers, as I do,
Yeah.
and you've brought a 20-year-old,
Yeah.
that's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people shouldn't do it, or I'm just saying I would be embarrassed
Yeah.
to be at a dinner with all 50-year-olds and I brought my 20-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah. So I think that's what's happening.
Genetically, evolutionarily, no. There's no reason a man would ever stop seeing fertile women as attractive. It would be my culture on top of it.
Yeah, but your culture's
Oh, it is.
obviously we have also evolved out status. Like status now doesn't just necessarily mean having as many kids as like you're done having kids, right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
physically you are done having
unless
kids.
I got a reversal of my vasect.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have also told.
But my genetics doesn't know I got a vasectomy.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't. It can't take info in.
The whole point that the reason that we have those genetics is still for status. It's for spreading your seed as far and wide as you can.
Yeah, it's just to spread your seed. So genetically, I too am supposed to spread my seed. That's the pull inside.
Yeah.
And then on top of my biology is culture that's affecting a bunch of my behaviors.
Yeah.
All I'm pointing out is that there is no Mother Nature rule that I would not be attracted to someone that's fertile
No, I'm
and
not
hot.
saying there's a mother nature rule, but it's still culture's still subconscious.
Culture's huge. Yes, it's totally subconscious.
That's what I was saying. It's like subconsciously there is something in you that's like that's not a reality anymore.
Yeah. I go to mine's very complicated. I go to I can't talk to what would I talk to this person about?
Exactly.
How would I spend hours with this person?
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about the time Prince was dead in 1983. We all thought.
You did talk about that recently.
Yeah, I also continue to because that's what I grew up with.
Sure.
Anyways, man, but I see folks my age just out doing it. I guess I don't know. I want to say applaud them, but I'm just like we just have different levels. I guess it's a signal of confidence. It seems like a signal of insecurity.
Yours?
When I see 50-plus-year-old
I agree.
actors with 20-year-old actresses.
It's either insecurity and they need this like woman to raise their status because they're beautiful.
They want a reflection of themselves.
Exactly. If this person likes me, then you guys should all like me,
Yes.
right? Which I can relate to that.
In some cases, not all. In some cases, I think it could be evidence of a lack of emotional maturity from the male, which is like they've never gone past what relationships are in your 20s.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
Yeah.
And they want someone that also wants a 3-year ordeal.
Yeah.
And nothing more, because that's the phase they're in.
Yeah, they don't want it to be that serious.
Yeah.
The older you get, most women want something a little more serious. So there's that.
And I would imagine the percentage of 3-year relationships in your 20s that turn into lifetime versus 3-year relationships in your 30s that turn into lifetime. I think that's a dramatic difference.
Probably, yes.
I'm guessing,
I
though.
would guess too. Yeah. Anywho.
Well, that was. Do you want to add any guys to your list? I know a lot of them. Idris Elba, the guy
Such
from
a random one to say.
the guy from Heist, Matt Ben, Sean Penn.
See, this is why it's so
Brad Pitt.
funny. I know I'm sort of an outlier, or I've always liked older men,
Right.
which is so opposite from
What
men. I still do. I know from my female peers
Yeah.
and friends that I, on the scale,
You
am
track
much
older.
more attracted to older men than they are.
Do you have an explanation for that?
Yeah.
It's a maturity thing?
No, I think because I spent so much of my young life feeling like I had to protect everyone in the family.
Uh-huh.
I like the idea of not having to do that.
Right.
And having a protector.
To relax.
So in my head, the protector has to be older.
Patriarchal a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Because I was going to hearken a guess that there's also some part of you,
Mm-hmm.
an insecure part,
Sure. I have a
that
lot
says
of them.
older men value personality more.
Oh,
No. And young men are just looking for like whatever Instagram model to inflate their own status.
No, because this is even when I was really young.
Yeah, right.
Like when I was
Before he could have
really
concocted
young.
this whole.
Yeah, I didn't like, I wasn't like, I mean, I guess I did like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic. I liked him, but I really liked David Boreanaz.
Okay. Well,
You know?
I don't know who that is, but
Angel on Buffy.
oh, okay.
And he was older, way older than me at the time.
Yeah.
So I was still even then attracted to like an older thing.
This is where it does get tricky. Is like I trust you
In
and
life?
your desires.
Yeah.
So if you want to date a 62-year-old man,
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this. You don't want me to.
I don't want you to.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that I have two conflicting ideas in my head, which is like, yeah, you should be able to be with a 62-year-old man. And then kind of the inverse of that is like, I have to be able to not be judgmental of the 62-year-old man that's with you.
Right. But you are. And I get it.
Yeah. Although
Like-
there is a threshold, but I bet it's kind of just because I'm 50. So to me, a threshold is around 35.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's so sad, but true. Like,
right?
I'm
I don't
past
mind a
it.
50-year-old dating a 35-year-old.
No, me either.
Yeah.
I don't mind a 60-year-old dating a 35-year-old.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
a little tricky,
we're
yeah.
a little different on this page.
Yeah.
Ted.
And again, I don't give a fuck. I just have questions.
Well, I don't have that many questions. It's like if the 60-year-old is finally at the point in his life where he is ready to
Have some fun and
Settled-
travel.
settle down. I mean, there is something about being with a young person that makes you
Energizes
feel
you.
youthful and energized
Yeah,
and not like your age. But also, I think some of these 6-year-old men who are hot,
Yeah.
like have had all these women coming in and out of their life. They liked that. And now they're like, oh no, like I do wish I had someone to watch TV with. I don't.
Right.
I guess I got to go to the people who do. And those are 35-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. Who like to watch TV?
Yeah. I love to watch TV.
Yeah.
I watched all of Adolescence this weekend.
Great.
Great show.
Great show.
Really intense, beautifully done,
Acting's
impressive. Holy shit.
that boy,
Brand new.
brand new. Talk about, for people who haven't seen it, we have mentioned it before, but all of it is in very long takes. I don't know if they bridged some together or not.
They might have, but it's sold as a oneer.
They apparently didn't.
So for people who don't know, although I do think we said it, but just in case, it's the story of a boy who's accused of murdering a 13-year-old boy who's accused of murdering a girl that age.
Yes.
And it's 4 episodes. They're hour-longs. They're oneers. And it's really heartbreaking. It's intense, but like intense in the reality of life.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
I certainly don't want to re-debate this. I did want to just point out, post our debate about men and women that we had recently.
Okay.
And in reading comments, I noticed there's a total lack of compassion for young men
Okay.
and particularly young white men.
Mm-hmm.
Totally get it. It's so well grounded.
Mm-hmm.
White men have been in power. They've had all the power and all the opportunity. So I'm asking you to feel bad for the group who's had all the power and all the opportunity and held all the wealth. But what occurred to me, and I think it's a distinction people need to make in their mind, the 12-year-old wasn't a CEO of a company.
Mm-hmm.
He was not the patriarchy. He did not have the power.
I agree.
I think we graft on the sins of previous generations onto these young boys who are like 10 years old. They just arrived. They don't have
Right.
any status or power or
Yeah.
control. And you got to make the distinction in your head if you hope to have any compassion for this group that is,
Well-
by all metrics, struggling.
I think anyone who's really thinking about it does recognize.
And for 30 and above, go ahead and keep feeling that way. I don't mind that you think,
Right.
poor white men that are 30 and above.
Right. But I think most people who know what's going on do have compassion. And even if you don't have compassion, you have to have some fear and some level of like, this is a huge problem that we have to look at.
Yeah,
and
it's a
fix.
tinderbox.
And it is. But I guess what's like the show depicts in, I think, a great way is the outside influence on a lot of these boys. Yeah. It gets into incel culture, which was funny because I was like, I don't know so much about it. Like, I don't know barely anything. They're explaining a lot of stuff that I was like, oh my God.
My understanding of incel is like it's a very fringe part of the internet where these guys who are like, I'm never going to have sex, and then they hate women.
Yeah.
And then I saw this clip that went around, which is incredible, is one of the very popular vlogging incel guys saying it was gay to have sex with women. I mean, that's all fucking twisted.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was like super common knowledge among young people, or at least in England, if this show's to be believed.
Yeah, and there's a whole culture around it. There's emojis that mean things, and it's a whole, and there's this like 80-20 rule where 80% of the women, it's part of like what incels say, which is, I think, true.
On social media, or rather on dating apps, yeah.
Yeah, that 80% of women are interested in 20% of men, but then they take it to this level so because of that, we have to hurt them. I just think it's like the least thought out fucking thing in the world to be like, so the answer to that is like hurt them and kill them. That means then 0% of you, but that doesn't have to be. Like the reason is because a woman will be with a man who's not like that. Like it's dragging all these boys in to increase the chance that will happen.
Well, they have to figure out what the 20% on dating apps are doing and replicate it.
Right.
Again, because the college graduation rates are dropping. And if you got to be a college grad to get that 20%, I mean, hopefully that'll just incentivize these dudes to go to college. They got to figure out what are the things.
Yeah.
And go get those things so they can get those mates. Also, I would hope women will start dating laterally. If that's the real dynamic on planet Earth, is that 80% of women are getting plowed by the same 20% of dudes. Like, that's not advantageous to them either. It's not good for women to all be fighting over 20% of the pool.
Well, I think what's really happening is that women
go dormant and they don't
they're like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate reality is that's more and more true.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying that's good, but it is more true that like you can.
Well, yeah, you can be an independent.
Yeah.
Yes.
And live like a happy, good life. That's but I would say most women. I don't think boys
are as capable of.
I agree. And so I think most women would prefer to be in a partnership, a good partnership.
Yeah.
Than be alone. But also, I think what's starting to happen, obviously, I can fully attest to this. We're also not going to be in a partnership that isn't equal, like that isn't good. It's preferred to be single.
I would say both are going to suffer.
Yeah.
I think people should do what they've always done and form partnerships and
that are healthy, though.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the whole issue.
I don't want anyone to be in a bad relationship, but I want everyone to have a partner and
feel fulfilled and have that
children and keep the population.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I just think it's getting getting harder. Like it just is. It's for everyone.
I just think way more people are losing now than ever have.
Yeah. But even
because these 20% of dudes, you think any of them are settling down? If they have access to 80% of all women,
right?
That's fucked for them. It's not good for them.
Yeah.
It's certainly not good for the 80% of boys that are left out.
Right.
It's not good for the 80% of women trying to go after 20% of men. I guess the only people that are maybe thriving are the 20% of women who are with the, I don't know. I don't fucking know. It seems.
I don't know, but
bleak.
we also there's also the reality at play here, even though we're saying this 80-20 rule, but there is a real truth. We talked about it on here all the time. I see it everywhere that men are not that attracted to highly independent, accomplished women. Most men, they're threatened by it and it's uncomfortable.
I think they're all attracted to it. I think they don't know how to handle it when they get it.
I also think a part of it is like, for many men, and I don't know, I think they think there's something masculine about it.
Oh.
Like that.
Well, maybe for some, yeah.
There's like a role reversal they don't like. They don't like the idea
their dad
that
was
the
the
woman,
breadwinner and their
exactly.
mom
So
was
that's not attractive. I mean, there's so many women I know that are single and like beautiful and thriving and real catches.
Yeah.
And they cannot, and they are dating. Like they are
dating.
out there, they are dating, and it is not working.
It's not good. I guess what's interesting to think of is I have 2 daughters that will date, and what do I want for them?
Well, yeah. I also think, knowing you definitely want them to be with an equal partner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They deserve that.
Yeah.
And
I
you
want them
know
to be
that.
with an ambitious go-getter, protector,
Exactly.
who's confident,
Yeah.
and will let them shine.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'll fucking break their necks.
So right there is the reason that's 20% of men. That's the whole thing. Like the expectation you have for your daughters is the expectation at this point that not most, but a lot of women have for themselves.
But
right?
if one of my daughters dated a dude who wasn't ambitious, who wanted to keep a really clean house and be a super involved dad,
and was nice and fun,
I wouldn't be like, you shouldn't be with that guy.
No.
He's not a man.
I think a lot of women would be fine with that if they have their own thing going on. This is where we get into some weird sort of tricky dynamics. We had people write in Distinct about this a lot. And there'd be like some tricky dynamics then because they'd come home and like in a reverse traditional situation, if it was a wife at home, a woman at home, they would be required to like keep up the house and do the grocery shopping and do this and do this. But a lot of men now, maybe this will change. And I actually think that's going to be the answer, right?
Yeah. Anyone who grew up is watching a dad do that right now, they're on third base.
Exactly. And there's no shame around it or like, I'm not a man. And I think, but a lot of a certain generation of men, I think my generation may be the last one, right? Where it's like, they don't want to run a house.
Right.
So, and that feels emasculating and things like that. So this is where the whole like not being within ambitious, not being within ambitious women, it just is tricky.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. This is a dangerous one, but do you think we can bump up against the limits of our biology at some point? Like society evolves, culture evolves.
Yeah.
But I do wonder at like what point do you bump up against just how much culture can override biology?
I actually think culture can override it quite a bit over a long period of time. I don't think it's fast, but
I think if you plotted you and I on this spectrum, I think we have different like inflection points of where that would be, I think.
Yeah, probably. Even where this all started, where I think the culture has seeped in enough for like you would be embarrassed to do something that we were meant to do. Yes. That's an indicator enough for me that like over time things do change and then modeling changes. So like what your kids have seen is going to be different than their kids. It's overall going to shift.
We're highly flexible and adaptable, so maybe it'll work.
That's true.
Also, we could see it fall off a cliff and go, oh.
We'll be dead by then. I think it's all right. Okay. Couple facts, just a couple. Hot dog DNA.
Tell me.
Yeah, hot dog DNA. I've asked a lot of people this question that me and you had about would you rather eat someone's hair, eat their skin, or eat their eat their
skin, hair, saliva.
Saliva, exactly. Well, the whole thing is no, not all hot dogs contain human DNA, but a 2015 study by Clear Labs found human DNA in 2% of the hot dog and sausage samples they tested, with 2/3 of those samples being vegetarian. I mean, it's really not that much. But then it just made us ask the question, what would you rather have of those three? And I've been asking a lot of people.
Oh, and what's the consensus? So
everyone's all over the place.
Skin, saliva, and hair. Those are the options. We think that's what's getting into the hot dogs.
Yeah.
I say saliva.
Yeah, you said saliva. You'd most rather have saliva.
Because you don't have to chew that. You're not going to feel
Right.
that in your mouth.
Right.
It's best to not even know you had the DNA go through.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people said saliva.
You say hair.
I do, and that is controversial. No one's agreed with me.
What
there.
if it's a pubic hair?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So
It
human
has to
hair.
be a head hair.
Okay. Which is probably dirtier than
I
pubic
know.
hair.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Oh my God.
Not
yeah.
an ass hair.
Or arm hair?
Mons pubis hair.
Arm
Arm's
pit
fine.
or arm?
Arm.
Arm hair's fine.
Yeah.
I'd prefer that over head hair.
Yeah, me too. Thinner.
Yeah, tiny.
Much thinner. But the reason I say that, I think it's out of self-defense. It's because my hair's all over the place. And I think it's true that if you know me, you've eaten my hair.
Yeah,
Like to know me means you've eaten my hair.
unquestionably.
Yeah.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
So I don't want to be gross. So I guess I'm trying to I'm lobbying that hair eating's fine.
What are people saying? They're saying saliva, no?
Yeah, a lot of people someone said skin, which was shocking to me. That's
Yes.
the worst. No, well,
I think I would say skin.
no.
Oh.
Well, when you're talking skin in a hot dog, it's going to be like flakes.
No, we're talking. Okay, this we
Not
got
like a
End of a
finger.
finger.
getting-
not the whole finger, because
Well, yeah, that's gross.
a
But
chunk of
but-
the skin.
He does make a good point that a tiny chunk of skin, again, would feel like the texture of the hot dog, and
It
you
would.
largely wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I gotta put hair last because you go, "Ugh," and then you're trying to get
keeps
up.
coming.
Yeah, and you're like,
I know.
"Ugh."
I know. Nobody likes that, but the reason is we've all done it.
What if it was like 3 feet of hair?
And I'm like,
3 foot hair.
well, this is the other thing.
Do
Often,
you think your
if
hair is 3 feet long? No, 2.5.
it's really long.
Yeah.
The other
Congratulations.
thing is if there is a hair in my food, which again happens a lot.
Yeah.
I am always like, it's probably mine. I immediately say to myself, it's probably mine. And then I don't look at the color and I don't think about it.
And I don't have that luxury.
Why?
Because if I start pulling a hair that's longer than 3 inches out of my mouth, it's
Oh.
not mine.
Well, it's not mine if it's this
Unless it was my
small
armpit
either.
hair, which can get up to
See?
9, 12 inches.
See?
Yeah.
Could be yours. Yeah, look, I do think I'm in a rare group
Yeah.
about hair.
That's
I
cool,
can
though.
acknowledge that.
That's cool. That's we're punk rock.
Okay, now the toothbrushing scene and Bring It On. I'm just going to play that.
Okay.
Okay, she's brushing her teeth. He's putting the paste on, Colgate, I think. Now he's brushing. They're like, it's kind of like meet cutie. Still going.
Do we know why they're sharing a bathroom right now?
No, I forget. Okay, he spit. Still brushing.
Do you have any more volume you can give us?
She spit. He spit again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're spitting and rebrushing. Now, I don't do this. I do it once. Okay, spit, spit. They're also they don't have toothpaste. All right, wow.
Oh, I don't know what Improv said.
Spit, spit.
So it's kind of an aggressive back and forth. It's more of like a tit for tat, like a war.
Anywho, well, that's that.
Oh, well, thank you for those facts.
You're welcome.
All right. I love you.
Love you.